The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Whatcom County Fire District Number 1, Washington, on your new apparatus, job number 30036. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started with a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Here are a couple images here, side-facing image. We'll take a look at a couple different images here, and then we'll get started on some of the components within your new apparatus. Let's get started with the front bumper of your apparatus. From the front, you'll find first on the passenger side an electronic siren mounted flush in the bumper. Moving just slightly to the right of that, you'll find your mechanical siren. You have two flush mounted dual air horns forward facing. Located in the center, you'll find your winch. Moving up onto the bumper, you'll find two right and left closed tow hooks. Directly center in the area of the apparatus in the front bumper, you'll find a tub storage that is covered. Moving slightly to the right of that, onto the driver's side, you'll find an additional tub storage which has Velcro tie downs and also an 1.5-inch swivel discharge port. Moving up onto the body itself, you'll find on the right and left turn indicators. Moving just inside of those turn indicators on the front, you'll find your high and low beam headlight cluster, low beam on the outside, high beam on the inside. Moving up from that location, you'll find your right and left turn arrow. And in that same cluster, you'll find your emergency lights. Up onto the top, you'll find 3 windshield wipers across your seamless windshield. Up to the very right and left side, you'll find dual mirrors, which are convexed and flat. And up onto the brow of the apparatus, you'll find your running lights. Located in the center, you'll find a center-facing floodlight. And all the way up to the top, you'll find your emergency light bar. And then further up, you'll find your go light. Also located inside that emergency light bar is also your opticom. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of close-ups here of those images. First, starting out at the bumper, you'll find your electronic siren and also your mechanical siren once again. This is your 15,000-pound maximum allowable winch rating. Up inside here, you can see the 2 closed tow hooks and also that center section which houses the winch. On the left-hand side, you'll find the free spool and also the control on the left. Once again, 15,000-pound maximum allowable rating. On the right, you'll find this tub storage location with Velcro, in addition with that swivel discharge. Your headlight cluster. Up from the headlight cluster, let's go up to the very top. Here's a close-up of that front-facing flood and also the go light. And as we look in a little bit closer, you can see inside the light bar, you can find your opticom system. Take a look on the side of the apparatus. You'll find side-facing emergency warning lights. You'll also find that marker light which we mentioned earlier. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side section of the cab. First, starting in the upper front, you'll find your door handles which are keyed for locks. You also have, at all points of entry, grab handles for safety. Located in the center, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. And let's move all the way up to the very top. You'll find an additional indicator here, both right and left side, for the water level or tank indicator. Here's a cutaway image here of that mirror. Lower section is convex, the upper portion is flat. Close up here of the door handle with the keyed lock. Moving underneath the steps, you'll find perimeter lighting at all points of entry. As we look closer underneath, you'll see the red and black. These are going to be your battery termination points. Located on your Alcoa wheels, you'll also find in the center a location for checking the fluid reservoir. As we move to the side of the apparatus, up in the corner once again, we'll find your tank water level indicator. You also on the side have additional lighting, which are telescoping through this release mechanism. By releasing it or tightening it, we'll set the position of that light. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner here with your cross lays here. First, let's start on the webbing section here. You'll find a release buckle. Once that release buckle has been loosened or released, this will gain entry to those cross lays.
Each of the crosslays can be removed, loaded on the ground, and then reloaded back into their positions if you choose. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about in general purposes here of the pump panel and its components. Let's break down those in the next set of images. First, we'll start in the upper left-hand corner. Crosslay number 1 in yellow, moving to the right. Crosslay number 2 in the 2.5-inch crosslay. The arrow is indicating now to the master intake gauge. Moving to the right is going to be your master discharge. All the way up to the right-hand side is going to be a set of switches here running downward. And we're going to talk about each of these components as we further through this entire process. In the center here, you're going to find your vacuum and test pressure gauges. All the way to the left-hand side, you'll find an additional discharge port here. Moving to the right, you'll find your specifications and layout of the foam system for your Husky foam system. Moving to the right, in the red with the letter A on it, is the foam level for your A tank. Moving to the right is going to be the control module for your Husky foam system. Moving further to the right, you're going to find your TPG Pierce throttle pressure governor control module. And then as we move further to the right, we'll find some discharges, but this silver one here is going to be your plug-in for your Whatcom headset. We'll talk a little bit about some of these gauges here in the next set of images here. These are all individually marked and also color-coded. In the black section here, this placard is going to be your maintenance schedule. We'll talk about that. And as we move further to the right, you'll find an amber light if lit. That is a check transmission warning light. And just beneath that, you'll find the audible alarm. Moving all the way to the right in the blue section, this is going to be your water level for your water tank. Then as we move down further, you'll find an additional warning label here regarding pressurized caps and also your recirculating line. That's a twist, not a pull. And then further over is your primer for the fire pump. Let's go ahead and start back up in that left-hand corner here of the image. First, master intake and master discharge, and then just below are the test gauge ports, vacuum and pressure currently plugged. Upper right here, we're talking panel lights, a pump engaged indicator, driver's side flood, passenger side flood, driver's side scene, and passenger side scene. Moving just to the left, you will find the number 2 crosslay, capable of foam and water. And located in the center, you're going to find your foam system instructions and also the specifications for your Husky 3 foam system. To the right of that, you'll find your foam level and the Husky control module for your foam. Further to the right, you'll find your Pierce TPG throttle pressure governor. And all the way to the very far right in the silver, you're going to find your Whatcom plug-in for your headset system. Let's go ahead and cover some of those discharges here. Crosslay 1, crosslay 2, and also the 2.5-inch. All of these are capable of foam and water. Located in the center here, you're going to find your deluge discharge. It's in pink. It's a 12-to-1 ratio on that gauge, and it's a wheel style. Located in the top, this is that check transmission amber light and also the audible alarm. And moving to the right is your water level. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lower section of your pump panel. We'll identify, starting with up in the upper left-hand corner, the green large diameter discharge for the off side of the vehicle. This is going to be your large diameter passenger side discharge. Once again, 12-to-1 ratio, and this is on the off side of the pump. As we move further across, you'll find the number 1 discharge side in red here. This is a 2.5-inch discharge. And let's move just slightly over to the right of this location. This is going to be your fire pump primer. And there is instructions here at least 1,000 on your engine RPMs. Also the engine cooler. You're also going to find your tank to pump located here. And then just beneath that tank to pump on the left-hand side, you'll find your auxiliary inlet, 2.5-inch. Moving to the right, you'll find your large diameter intake behind the Pierce logo, eagle, and American flag. And moving to the right, this is going to be your foam draft foam tank lever, and also a note here to not mix those components. Just below that, you'll find your pump drain. You'll also find an access door. In this access door, just beneath that, you'll find your manual pump shift. But let's talk a little bit behind the access door. This is going to be your foam here for fill instructions and moving that lever associated with the instructions on the left-hand side of the door. Underneath the step here, you'll find your discharge drains for foam. And as we move also underneath, you'll find perimeter lighting associated with the vehicle throughout the entire lower section of the vehicle. Generalized view here, we're focused in on the steps here. These are pull-down style steps. They're also covered currently for protection. But once that cover is removed, has a handle there you can grab a hold of to climb on. At the upper top, you'll find out a marked out location here for a step with a light also there for gaining access to the top of the vehicle, where you'll find your TFT crossfire deluge. This is also the location of your hydraulic oil. You can see the black fill cap on the right-hand side. This is a diamond plate cover for your crosslays. Let's go ahead and open that diamond plate and let's take a look underneath. You can see those crosslays here. All can be removed at any time. There's also a convenient light located at the very top here for where you're walking around. And in this section also is where you'll find the foam fill from the top and also your water fill location for your tank. Generalized view here of the rear section of the apparatus, dividable hose bed, and on each right and left side you'll find your rigid suction hoses. Generalized view here of the side of the apparatus. Let's break down some of the components in this area. First, starting in the upper left-hand corner with the compartment doors rolled up and open. All of the compartments, as you can see, have the LED lighting associated at the very front section of there, so you can look inside the compartment for visual at night. Located in this compartment, you'll find this swing hinged style tool board. As you access the tool board, you can have access for tools on both front and back, and also the back wall. To release or restore, there's going to be a locking mechanism here to release it, lift, which will allow this to restore to its original position. The lower section has a pull-out style compartment that also has a pegboard located on it. The latch on the very far right-hand side is the depressing latch to depress, which allows the mechanism to allow that door to pull outward, pictured in this image here. This is with that compartment drawer open, fully open, and locked into position. You can see the latch on the right-hand side. Underneath this compartment, you'll find storage location for folding wheel chocks. Let's move back up to the center compartment, mid-area. This compartment is rolled up with the lights inside and also the ability to add shelving at any time. There's also front and rear of the wheel. You'll find bottle storage locations. Just to the right of this location, you'll find an additional longer access door. This is going to be the silver tank, which is your diesel fill. Pull the lever back down and you'll find the latch, and you'll find the blue fill location for your DEF. The DEF is a 4.5 US gallon tank. The rear compartment here with the door rolled up, we're going to see two adjustable fixed shelves in this location. And as we look further down to the very bottom, same configuration with that pull-out style drawer. That divider is adjustable side to side also. There's the mechanism for allowing that shelf to be pulled outward. Depress that, allowing the lock to release, and the shelf will pull to its full outward position and lock into place. Underneath this location, you'll find an additional wheel chock, folding in style. Let's look overhead. You'll find your rigid hose for drafting, and you're also going to find a side-facing LED floodlight. And to the very rear section of this, you'll find an emergency warning light and also running lights. Let's go ahead and move now to the very rear section of the apparatus. Generalized view here. We'll talk about some of the components here. Let's start down at the lower section, where at the very bottom you have perimeter lighting located directly in the center and as an attachment point or tow hitch. As we move up onto the left-hand side of the vehicle, we'll find this cluster, which houses your turn, brake, reverse, and an emergency light. Also just above that, you'll find your rear scene lights and hose bed lights. This is going to be the upper left and upper right-hand corner. This is your rear scene lights. Generalized view here of this section of the rear section of the apparatus. Let's cover some of the components here down at the lower section. First, you can see these steps have been folded out to the pull-out position. They also have step lighting associated with each one of those steps, so that at nighttime you have a good visualization. Located in the upper left-hand corner, you'll find your rear discharge, 2.5 inch. As we move up, you'll find your traffic advisor located in the very center, and also an adjustable hose bed. Located in the compartment to the right-hand side, this is where your ground ladders are stored. Once this door is accessed, you'll find your ground ladders in addition with tools. This is going to be a 14-foot roof ladder and a 24-foot extension ladder. Moving just slightly above those, you'll find 2 pike poles. You'll also have additional storage for a folding 10-foot attic ladder, and also storage slightly above that ladder here for long tool storage also. Let's move down to the very base of the apparatus to that roll-up door. Here it is in the open position. You can see there are 2 pull-out style drawers located in this area. Once again, same mechanism for releasing that door and allowing it to pull, or the shelf to allow it to pull outward. These are fully extended. Let's go ahead and move now to the opposite side or passenger side of the vehicle. The compartment doors are open, as you can see at the very top. You've got your rigid suction hose. Rear section here, last compartment, you have an additional pull-out style tool board. Same mechanism as the driver's side of the vehicle. This also has the same mechanism for opening and closing as it also has for releasing that. There's also a pegboard on the very back section of the wall for mounting of tools. Let's move forward to that location just forward and aft of the rear wheel. You'll find additional bottle storage location just above the wheel in the front and also in the back. Let's go just above this section, mid area. You can see a long adjustable shelf here. This shelf is adjustable, currently in a fixed position. And as we move forward to that, you'll find 2 adjustable shelves in the next compartment forward. At the base of this compartment, you'll also find a pull-out style shelf. Same mechanism for opening that shelf. Let's move to the midsection of the pump. You'll find, just as you did on the other side, this is your cross lay. Located here, there are 2 discharge ports at the very top of the cross lays, and also a light for visual. There's the 2.5 inch and also the cross lay number 1. You also have an additional 2.5 inch large diameter discharge and a pump intake. Let's talk about those. There's also an access door. Behind this access door, you can see, once we have accessed inside, you can see an adjustment here for your large diameter passenger side discharge. Just kind of covered up by this image here, but at the very base, you'll find the intake with Pierce logo and also the American Eagle. This is going to be an adjustment location also for that intake. Underneath are all of your discharge drains, just as they are on the other side of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and move forward of this location to the operator's location. First, starting on the left-hand side of the door, you'll find all of your warning labels here. Please seek their advice and read those. Also beneath that is a yellow placard from Pierce indicating the date of manufacture, job number, also has tires, gross vehicle weight, VIN, and also all of your fluid capacities. Just down at the base of the driver's door, you're going to find your air inlet and also your shore inlet. These are both auto eject plugs. Pictured here is the air inlet auto eject. Just to the right of that, you'll find your 20 amp shore power auto eject. Moving up to the seat area, you'll find a warning label at the top of the seat. And just beneath that, you'll find your battery charger auto charger indicator when plugged into shore power. Underneath the seat, you're going to find your comfort controls. Generalized view of the driver's seat. As you'll notice, the seat belts are red in color for easy visual indication for the operator to see if everyone is belted. General view here of the steering column. On the left-hand side of the column, you'll find your height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating. Generalized view here, looking from the cab's seat, looking to the center area. We're going to talk about those components next. First, starting at the very top with your traffic advisor. At the bottom section here, this module is for your Firecom headset system. You'll find your engine brake on-off switch, your engine brake low, medium, and high, mechanical siren, load manager, a future location of a future switch if you need, and also your mirror heat. Moving just beneath this section, you'll find the Allison transmission pad, also the pull to apply system parking brake, and push to release. Just in the center area, you'll find, this is a little out of focus, this is your climate control, and then overhead you'll find all of your switches and also a push on, push off, red and white indicator light. First, we'll start with your emergency master on the left, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, and also the upper rear warning. As we move just to the right of this, remember this is over the operator's head. Let's move just to the right of this location, and we're going to find an additional set of switches. Houses the Opticom, which is that center location in the emergency light bar. Your air horn, electric horn selector switch. The perimeter lights, which are underneath the vehicle, and also in red, the siren brake. Moving further to the right, you're going to find your front flood, driver's side cab flood, passenger side cab flood, driver's side body scene lights, and passenger body scene lights, and then at the very end, the rear scene lights. Let's go ahead and look overhead also. You're going to find in the center your electronic siren and public announcement system, and just in front of that you'll find this red puck light, and this is going to indicate that you have a compartment door open and you may need to check. Overhead you'll find your Whatcom headset system. Looking in the rear section, you'll find on the left side or driver's side, you'll find a compartment. In that compartment you'll find a roll-up door, and inside is some adjustable shelving. To the right, or in the same location, you'll find an additional SCBA seat. There are 2 forward-facing SCBA seats also, and this is on the opposite side or passenger side of the vehicle. Total of 5 SCBA seats. Located just up in the front area, you'll find your auto charging system here plugged into shore power. Located in the center rear, you'll find 2 SCBA seats. Overhead, you'll find 2 Whatcom headset systems. We're now to the passenger side. You'll find additional warning stickers at all points of entry. This is outfitted with an SCBA seat in the very front right seat. As you look underneath this seat area, you'll find additional storage location with a latched access door. Let's go ahead and move to the front section of the cab. Looking forward, you'll find your computer mount on the left-hand side. You'll also find your overhead go light control. This is a light for on-off in addition with an indicator switch and also the remote control for that. Looking on the left, you'll find your air horn, mechanical siren, and a 12-volt barrel style plug. Overhead of the passenger seat, you'll find the front flood, driver's side cab flood, passenger side cab flood, driver's side body scene, passenger side body scene, and rear scene. Congratulations, Whatcom County Fire District Number 1, Washington, job number 30036. If you have any questions as to the content of this video or further information, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.